Echo.
And here we go. Hopefully I don't mess up the intro. No, almost did. A good thing I did not actually switch over yet. And we can fix this in post. Which I should probably start doing more often.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Super Desperation Radio! Go!
Welcome to another great episode of Super Desperation Radio that is chocked full of excitement and action and explosive things like what I just entered this episode with. That wasn't a screw up. This is probably the first good intro I've done in about a year. So, patting myself on the back for that.
What? Congratulations.
Don't ruin this for me, man. Let me have this. Anyway, we've got a lot to go over today. We have one special guest in the room right now that I think we should introduce because he is short on time.
We're going to bring him on in 10 minutes.
In 10 minutes? Are we bringing on 10 minutes? Okay.
Not just yet.
Okay, well, I mean, that's fine. That gives me a chance to laugh at the Steelers and laugh at the Packers. I'm done.
I wish that the Steelers and the Patriots could have both lost. That would have been nice.
That would have been great. And to have like the first ever NFC-only Super Bowl. Where, like, you know, the Falcons and the Packers have to play again.
I'd be fine with that.
And this time,
What's wrong with you? Stop it.
What?
NFC only?
Well, you don't want NFC? Oh, that's right, because you're a AFC fan. You only pay attention to...
I mean, it's cool. If you guys would have been there, maybe we wouldn't have had to deal with the Patriots or the Steelers. But your quarterback had to get hurt.
That is true. You guys had one job.
Quarterback had to, like, just, you know, break a thing.
You guys had one freaking job.
Right.
Well, for what it's worth, the moment Derek Carr went down, I'm like, well, that's it.
I think everybody was like, well, that's it. What are you talking about?
Like, the team was definitely like, that was it. They were just like,
I want to agree with you, but I knew plenty of fans and plenty of people like, oh, no, we can still make it. The backups are fine. The third string backup was fucking Michael Crabtree.
What?
Yeah, oh, you didn't know
I wanted to see that so badly.
What?
I wanted to see that so badly.
Crabtree's quarterback?
Crabtree has quarterback experience enough that he is a third string quarterback after two bums and a dumpster.
Okay, I mean, wow. I didn't realize that. I'm just sure after, you know, Carr went down, Gibby just stood up, went downstairs, went to the bathroom, and just washed his hands. Just immediately, just soap, water.
You want to know what's funny? This isn't a joke. I know. I got a notification on my phone. I have one of those stupid apps that tell you when things happen. I stepped outside to do something, and I just got a notification. I looked at it, I'm like, son of a bitch. I just looked around.
You're like,
he's fucking dead! He's fucking dead!
I just took my phone, threw it on the car, and I just sat on the car, and I'm like, man. Oh,
shit. Wept a little bit.
No, I'm not joking. I sat on the car, I'm like, shit. I'm like, wait, I'm sitting on a car. I broke his leg. I was like, all right, well, let's get back in the house. It's cold out here.
Oh, man. That must have been
cold out here crying as my tears freeze.
That is rough to lose a quarterback, you know, like especially to an injury mid-season at a crucial moment like that. I mean,
mid-season. That was the end of the season.
Yeah, that was
okay. Mid-postseason. I mean, like I'm just saying, like as a Niner fan, I know how you feel. Like, you know, in 2012, Alex Smith went down in the middle of the season that he was doing very well in, and then we went to the Super Bowl anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
our backup quarterback got us to the Super Bowl, so.
Didn't he have a trash can for a backup?
But he got us to the Super Bowl.
Well, that trash can had
NFC championships again after that.
Yeah, the trash can had Oscar the Grouch living inside at the time.
We won the NFC championships in 2012.
Oh. So what you're saying is when you went to the Super Bowl, you didn't win.
That is still under contention, actually. There has been many things that have come to light since that game that, I mean, how much time you got?
All I'm gonna say is 2 is not a winner, sir.
You're right. 2 is not a winner. It's closer than 8 though.
Doesn't really matter at that point.
Yeah, no, that's true. He's still only top 8 and not grand finals winner.
That's right.
Whatever, Paul. You have no stake in this conversation. You don't even have a football team.
Thank God.
I mean, if you did care, and if you actually did care about St. Louis's team, I'm sure you'd be really upset with the last 10 years. So.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, what team in the last 10 years is the real question.
Yeah, I'd be like, they're back. They're back. Oh, come on.
Can the Falcons beat Brady? I mean, come on, man. Like it's Matt Ryan. It's Matty Nice. I'm not calling him Matty Ice. He's Matty Nice.
It depends on how much the Patriots are allowed to cheat this year in the Super Bowl.
They're legit though, man.
We got Tom Bison over there.
That's the problem, is that they are a legit team that still has to cheat to win.
Hey, man, use every advantage to your disposal.
Yeah, I guess. Hey, man, if the NFL's not going to punish you, you might as well, right?
Look, when you play football, sometimes you got to bait the neutral zone infraction. Okay.
Wow.
Jesus. Oh my God! Other stuff that happened this weekend, not related to games. Actually, that's about it. That's the only thing I watched was football all weekend.
I didn't watch anything.
Yeah.
I streamed some Super Bomberman, some Dragon Quest Builders. I think I streamed. I forgot. We streamed a lot of Super Bomberman together, and we
On
did
the Game
Viking
Goons?
Squad. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we streamed Viking Squad last night on twitch.tv/GameGoonsTV, which you should be following right now and donating to because you get to write us funny messages that got read out loud by an automatic Australian accent.
Paul, did you like Castle Crashers?
Yeah, actually, I did.
Okay, I didn't, but I like Viking Squad. It's the same thing with Vikings that yell at you and hack and slash. It's great.
Pretty much, yeah. It's actually less expansive than Castle Crashers, yet at the same time, I feel like I spend more time collecting stuff in it than I did in Castle Crashers.
I was watching Steve and Nerd Josh and Killer Kai play this Power Rangers game that's apparently that looks a lot like Castle Crashers.
Okay, that's what
Is that new movie game?
Yeah,
I guess?
something like that.
Yeah. That looked all right, actually. I kind of want to mess with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's only on PS4, though, I think, right?
I don't know.
I'm not sure, actually.
I didn't see it on Steam, so. Oh, well. Maybe someday. And I guess also worth mentioning would be, I wanted to save the KOF stuff for last, though, because I feel like that's, at any moment something new could come out, and I don't want to talk about it now.
We can save it for later. Cool. Hey, they pretty much 15 of the 16 people are set for King of Fighters World Cup. We'll get into that a bit later. Not right now. Basically, a rundown of what's going to happen tonight. There's going to be some Tekken 7 stuff because Tekken 7 was announced. There's going to be some KI World Cup stuff because stupid shit was announced. And then there's going to be the King of Fighters 15 out of 16. Mind you, nothing was officially announced for that, but hey, we have all the information somehow. And what else was it? Did we have anything else?
Skullgirls update.
Skullgirls update.
Wow, updates now?
Rev 2, Loke test.
We have a roundtable discussion around game settings and who checks them.
Yes, that was another
that's
thing.
going to be fun.
That's going to be a great conversation because I'm sure there's going to be people that are pissed off about it still.
Can we have that roundtable discussion about this at a roundtable?
I mean, technically, I could rearrange the
I'm talking about the pizza joint.
Oh,
in 7 years in SoCal, I never went to Roundtable once.
So Roundtable is pretty expensive, but you should go during the lunch buffet. That would maximize your pizza versus price.
You get like some chicken during the buffet, right?
It's been a while. I know they have like breadsticks and stuff.
Stop quoting Stain, please. I'm so tired of that.
It's been a while.
God damn it.
You're the one who brought it up. I wasn't.
I know
even
you
thinking
totally
about it.
did this to yourself. This is like this is your Trip Guardians.
Son of a bitch. I did that to myself too.
Oh yeah, did Seg tell you what Carter wanted to change the show to from Trip Guardians to Trip Guard the Yard?
Yeah, I saw.
Trip Guard.
Next time I see Hanzo Gonzo, I'm just gonna lift him over my head. I don't have to throw him in the trash can. I don't have to do anything. I just have to pick up the little boy and just put him over my head like this, and then that's it. He's gonna freak out. Great.
You're gonna do that with one hand, right?
He's gonna be like,
I can definitely do it with one hand.
He's gonna be like, bro, don't do that to me again, ever, bro.
Yeah, spin them on your fingertip.
Oh man.
So I think that covers most of what we're going to discuss tonight.
That's pretty much our intro, yeah.
Yeah, that's everything.
That's about everything.
Okay, well, I guess let's do this.
Bring on our special guest, if he's ready. Because I think that's what everybody's here for right now. And I'm going to tweet it out.
Oh, no, I already tweeted it out, but thanks.
Old Johnny Cellular.
Okay.
Giant cellular.
Johnny Cellular.
Johnny.
All right, anyway, we'd like to introduce our special guest. Chris, this is your job. You do it.
Okay, so from Parts Unknown, come to you live from his mansion in the desert volcano, Icelandic sculpture berg.
Are you just trying to see how many times you can fuck this up immediately?
I did not mess it up. This is just, he's got a very interesting house. Come on, man. Mr. Wizard of Evo Championship Series. How do you do, sir?
So when do I live in a volcano? I missed that.
You went for alternative energy sources in order to keep it, the cost cheap. So.
I mean, I applaud you, sir. Like, if you're saving like a buck, then more power to you.
So I got some solar panels on the side of the volcano. Okay. So.
No, use the heat from the earth to make your own steam engine. You're naturally bringing it up, so you don't have to create more carbon. And I don't know.
Are we all just gonna keep rambling to death? What's
we had something going on with that. It's like just trying to make them sound like like a little.
No, it's legit. It's 100%
cooler than normal.
It really sounds like you guys are just trying to make him out to be a supervillain of some sort.
He's not a supervillain. You changed your Twitter handle, right? You're no longer evil Mr. Wizard. You're just straight up Mr. Wiz. You've reformed.
Yeah, he's like Hank Scorpio.
I am no longer evil, so I'm joining the good side back again.
Oh
right.
Man,
You're
are you with there with like Nidell? Like we're keeping it esports.
Well, at least I come and do interviews. I don't think Adele's done an interview in like 3 years.
I don't think he's planning on it either.
That reminds me, Nidell owes us an interview. We got to get him on that, Chris.
That's never gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Actually, I got a real story to tell you. I don't know if Joey has enough time.
Later.
Yeah.
We do it after this. We have a guest on. We don't want to be rude to the guest and just, hey, we're going to take all your time.
No, they're going to take all your time. Because we actually have some questions for you that are obviously not spoiler friendly. They are, anti-spoiler. But mainly we want to ask, how are you getting prepared for this week? You obviously have a big day ahead of you tomorrow. And we want to thank you for coming on the show and hanging out with us beforehand. So what's that look like for you right now?
A lot of it was just finishing up, making sure the websites and everything syncs up so that when we reveal the information, it's actually there for the attendee to make sure they can buy their tickets and buy their registration and get everything done and get their hotel registration done so that the user experience is great. So it's a lot of that tying up loose ends and making sure that none of our information leaks before ahead of the show tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah. So that sounds like a pain in the butt, on top of doing a TV show, you're also corralling a ton of travel, securities, So
yeah, and I mean, on top of that, we obviously give out some exclusive interviews like to Sharukan.com to make sure that we get people over there so they're given the games ahead of time and we have to corral interview questions around that. So it's a very fine line of walking to make sure people don't leak stuff.
Yeah, maybe you gotta feed a little misinformation here and there, see if that gets out. Then you know where it came from. You keep a document.
Are we really doing COINTELPRO about the Evo games list?
You gotta be careful these days, man. This is a hot commodity in the community. That's a lot of people.
I'm gonna leak Clay Fighters being in the lineup and see how far that gets me.
Like it.
Which one? Not even any Clay Fighters. I imagine it'd be like Clay Fighter 2. The one that nobody played.
It's got to be 63rd and a third with Bad Mr. Frosty. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Not Sculptor's Cut. We're just going regular vanilla.
Yeah, we're going vanilla.
Blockbuster doesn't exist anymore. We can't get a copy of Sculptor's Cut.
I just wonder though, does that actually happen a lot? Are you concerned about leakers every week before the Evo announcement, especially now that it's so publicized?
Yeah, it's actually something that we have to keep really close to the chest now because everyone wants to know the information ahead of time, and over the years we've had a couple leaks, so we have to make sure that if we do give it to a media outlet, they've signed an NDA so that we can sue them if they leak the stuff. So
Nice.
Yeah, so we got to be really, really careful, and I think maybe under 10 people know the list, so I think it's a pretty good group, so I'm pretty confident that it won't leak.
So we've had you come on and talk about Evo before, and this is a question that kind of like follows up with more of what you talked about. So Evo, like an Evo takes a lot of time in planning, right? Like you guys like plan practically 3 years in advance for the next one. But I know that with the ever-growing size and the venue changes, have you had as much time in order to kind of still plan for this year's Evo? Is it getting a bit more faster, like hotter and heavy, like with how much time you have really to plan this out?
Yeah, so that's one of the big things that we do is if we can lock down the location early enough where we can kind of predict the growth of Evo from year to year, we'll be fine. Mm-hmm. Obviously, last year was an anomaly because we had 5,000 people join Street Fighter and double 2,500 man tournament in Smash. So we weren't ready for that. I mean, we got through it, but obviously it was super packed in there. We don't like to be like that. Mm-hmm. So we're definitely more equipped to handle the influx of new players and people coming to Evo this year. So I think we'll be quite okay.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, because, I mean, like you were saying, you got to lock down venues years in advance, and then things like this happen. So it's just, Yeah, I'm currently working on the dates for Evo 2021 at the moment. So, and whether it stays in Vegas is completely up to the space requirements. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, it'll be like, no, we're doing it in Davenport, Iowa now. This is the only location we could get to accommodate it with a close enough international airport.
It's literally a missile silo.
We could go SPO style and just hold it outdoors. I mean, that's
nice.
Oh man, are we gonna be like SBO? Oh wait,
there's gonna be bugs in all the machines too.
Yeah.
Dude, that's the classic computer bug right there. That's where the term came from. Actual bugs getting inside your wiring, just frying stuff, shorten it out.
Oh man, going back to the roots.
Oh yeah. That's how it is. That's how you know it's grassroots, is when you can actually look at the grassroots outside.
So Evo grows like every year. We've seen that. So like, how long do you think we can last in Vegas? I mean, obviously they are constantly building stuff there too. So maybe eventually they think about building an actual esports arena, like an actual arena, not like the chain in Vegas.
Well, I mean, didn't the Oakland Raiders just apply to go to Vegas right now? So I mean, yeah. They could literally put a huge football stadium / esports arena and build it somewhere in there, and that would be awesome. So,
Oh yeah, it would be nice to have something like that would really accommodate all this electronic sports. Considering I'm sure the infrastructure isn't set up for like, oh yeah, we should put FiOS in here for like people to use and stuff like that. So there's things like that. At the same time, though, when's Evo's Palace? Why don't you just open up your own venue?
Vegas real estate is very, very expensive and it's held by billionaires. So you have to move it to like Riverside or something to like accommodate people. So that would not be great.
Oh yeah.
And that kind of begs the question: is if you were to ever leave Vegas behind, where would you go? Where would you even look?
I mean, there's always two spots that could do it. I would love. I mean, if at any point there was actually space in Manhattan and New York, I think that would be awesome.
Have it at the Square.
Yeah,
sick! Hell yeah!
Do fun stuff over there. The other one I've always had in mind is Dubai because they have like a Vegas over there. It's a crazy big space, so I think it could accommodate a bunch of people. But getting 20,000 Americans to fly over there would be kind of a chore. So I don't know.
That might be a little bit of an issue.
So that actually brings up another important thing that that kind of popped up last year at the end of last year was Evo Japan. And like, I know you can't tell us anything definite about that now, but are you expecting a big international presence there from the West?
I mean, obviously, I just get nonstop feedback from people saying this is going to be their first international trip and they're happy that they get to see an Evo across the ocean. And I think it removes a lot of barriers of people who are scared to go by themselves. And because we're all over there, like if they get lost or if something happens or they want to just explore Japan with friends and people go to Evo, it's a good time for them to go. So I definitely think that it's a great trip overall, and that's why it's kind of a ways away from Evo World so that people can do 2 events a year if they want to do it.
Right. So that coming in. Can we get like Evo room rates for like a month or two so we can really experience all of Japan? You know, lock it down just for a real long period of time.
It's a month long.
Yeah, I mean, having been over there twice in the past year, they do have like American rooms over there that have a decent rate. I think my last rate was like $100 a night, which is
not bad.
The rooms are obviously a little bit smaller, but I mean, they have everything you have in America. They have a bed, they have a TV, they have a shower, they have a bathroom. So it's not like the crazy things you hear, like being in a coffin or something crazy like that.
One of those little sleeping booths, you know, you just roll up into it.
Those are obviously there for you if you want to pay tonight, but it's sleeping in a coffin, and I'm not down with that.
You know what's really cool though is, you know, people always talk about how there's a lot less crime rate in Japan, and if you really have to do it, you can sleep outside. But if there's just like, you know, 1,000 foreigners bumming it, you know, in like on the benches outside, I think it's probably won't go over that well, but nobody will get in trouble, or nobody will get hurt probably. Like, why?
What's super crazy about Japan is they don't have trash cans outside.
Yeah, what the hell is that about?
So, like, literally, I had a McDonald's cup, and I was trying to look for a place to throw it away, and it took me like 30 minutes to find a place to.
You just carried it all day. Looked like you asking for change on a McDonald's cup and everything. Like, where can I get rid of this, man?
I think I literally had to go to another McDonald's to throw it in their trash.
That's amazing. Oh man.
That's why there's a lot of litter in Tokyo, but yeah.
Oh wow.
That's just what I've seen. What about you, Gib? You got anything to ask the man?
So Hellbox and I are invited to the suite this year, right?
Yes. I was getting to that.
No, I mean I'm more direct. We get the party in the suite, and you know, hold our KOF 98 tournament there, just between the three of us.
We should set this up a little. So not a lot of people know this, but when Mr. Wizard runs Evo, obviously, you know, he's staying in the best room as what we believed, but we did not know how bestest it was. Like, can you describe this room for the people real quick?
So the room, it was a villa. It was on the roof. So I had access to the helipad, which is pretty crazy. So there's three villas on the roof, and they're each like 13,000 square feet.
Jesus.
It's got like 3 full bedrooms, 3 full bathrooms, right? And then it's got like everything you want: a full dining room table, living area, all this crazy stuff, and then it's actually 2 stories, which is super crazy.
Wow.
And
That's
right
awesome.
in the center of everything, there was a 4-foot pool.
Just in the middle of the room.
Yeah,
why not?
So I mean, there's literally like 10 suites in Vegas that have a pool inside the room, and that was one of them. So
Oh, man.
Wow.
I was really fortunate to have that, and I would like literally wake up at 8 a.m. and be like, "Oh, it's time to go in the pool," and then I would
Awesome. What a way to start your day.
yeah.
So we saw him, like, last year we saw him going up in the exclusive elevator. And, like, Gibby tried to follow him in. He actually shoved us out of the elevator.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's only 2 buttons in the elevator with 29. So if you don't have one of those floors,
you guys
could
are not
drive the
coming up.
elevator.
I was like, but Mike Ross went up. Like, yeah, we're only allowed to have one mic.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, man. But yeah, so obviously we're getting down to the nitty gritty. We can't ask you what the lineup is tomorrow because you'll probably give us like, a bunch of Mugen games. But a lot of people,
you could always ask the question, but you're obviously not going to get an answer. Right?
Yeah, no, I'm not going to get the answer yet. But what I have 2 questions actually. I would like to ask one, if you weren't picking the lineup, what would you want to see? Because you ask everybody else this like every year, but I never get to hear from you.
Yeah, I mean, I like a roundabout. Just I like fun games that I've played when I grew up, right? So like Alpha and Super Turbo and MK3, just fun stuff like that. But I realize the window for that in Evo is not going to happen, so that we just do those games. So I like the old school stuff because I think a lot of the new school stuff just has mechanics that don't really fit my style anymore. So it's a matter of choice, and I would just go with old school stuff, but I understand why it doesn't happen anymore.
So, are you an Alpha 2 or an Alpha 3 guy?
I'm an Alpha 2 guy. I can't stand Alpha 3.
Thank God. I agree right there. I applaud this man.
What's wrong with Alpha? I mean, I can't ask what's wrong with Alpha 3. Even I know what's wrong in Alpha 3.
Yeah, I was about to say there's a lot.
All right, second question would be, and this might be a little more touchy, but a lot of people have been speculating 7 games. Why? And if it's possible that there is a hidden game, like a hidden boss for the Evo game lineup.
Well, I mean, it's crazy to see how Evo has really become so big now, where like every time we add a game, the multiplier of like space that we need just goes through the roof. And so you really have to be careful on what you select and whether we can actually pull it off. Because we still haven't moved Evo to 4 days, and I don't know if it's ever going to be that way, but it's a matter of how much we can cram into a 3-day period. And literally 4 of those games, from last year, 4 of those games have to be finished by Saturday night because you go into the finals with 5 games.
Right.
So it's a matter of, can we pull this off? Are the games taking forever? And what would you guys like to see in Evo? So there's obviously room for stuff because we pulled off 9 games last year with the insane intense that we had. But we'd rather be safe than sorry in terms of like making sure we can get it done. So who knows what will happen? You guys will find out tomorrow what we have planned. But I mean, there's always a chance for a hidden boss game, so I'm not ruling it out.
Yeah, because like historically, from what it seems like, it's like Evo announcements and like a lot of other things. I feel like it's just like it does happen, and this is kind of what we said. But it still seems a little more fluid than that because some things might happen or something might change. Like we had the year where BlazBlue bowed out because they didn't have the latest version out, and so Marvel 2 came back. Who knows? Like this stuff happens all the time. So I mean,
literally within the past 2 weeks, we've seen crazy amount of games get announced, updates for games get announced, and that throws a wrench into our system, right?
Yeah.
Like we kind of had an idea what we wanted to do, and then all of a sudden all these crazy new games come out. So it's a matter of like, it's a big jigsaw puzzle, and it's just like it's like Tetris. You got to just fit everything and see if you can fit it into the space and the time allotment, and then go from there.
Yeah.
Can I just make one request? Can Ultra Street Fighter 2 not be a part of this jigsaw puzzle?
What's really funny is not to put the game down or anything, but we call the U in Ultra Street Fighter 2 unfun. They literally took all the fun stuff of Super Turbo and they removed it.
Yeah.
Like no charge supers, no throws. Like it's like, come on, this is the stuff that the game was made of, and you want to just remove it and make it boring. So I don't know. I'm just not a fan of it.
No store to each throw makes me really sad.
Yeah, and exactly. Like I'm like, are you kidding me? Like I grew up on Chun-Li, and it's like that was a key component of her arsenal, and now you're just like, nope, can't do it. Thanks for playing. So
you just gotta play Evil Ryu or Violent Ken or mind-controlled Ken.
Well, I mean, if I want to play Violent Ken, I might as well just go play SNK versus Capcom, right?
There we go. That's what I'm saying.
That's some harsh words right there. I don't know about that.
The dash was better. I mean, obviously, you know what I want to see in there, so like I'm pulling for that. But I'm sure you're also getting a ton of like people begging you to put, and not just like regular people, like people that are close to you, being like, "Hey, is there like room for like this game in there? It's not completely dead yet. We can get some guys in there." Like, do you ever have to field that kind of crap within the inner circle?
Yeah, it definitely happens a lot more than you think it would be. Also, like when an important person, not to say like people aren't important, but when a high-end member like retweets it on Twitter or says, "I want to see this game," all of their followers hit me up too and be like, "Oh yeah, you want to get behind him? Yeah, that game should be in there," and they give their reasons why they should be. So it's just like it's a big. I mean, everyone ideally in Evo has every single fighting game from every genre, right? Maybe do like a 6-game Evo, but in realism, we can't do it. It's just too much. So,
just out of curiosity's sake, as in any capacity, has any like third party or side tournament like organizers like hit you guys up anything about potential side games or side tournaments?
I think a lot of those guys wait until we actually announce the games to see if their game makes it before they try to contact us and see if they can get space to hold their tournament. So we're trying to hold out the last hope, right? Like if it's something that we hadn't had in 10 years, like Marvel 2, they're just, okay, maybe it will be in this year. And then when it's not in there. Yeah, and they maybe ask for space, or maybe they just plan a BYOC tournament or something like that. So I think that's always a great thing, is just get together and hold a little mini tournament in BYOC, and you're pretty happy.
Yeah. Well, who knows? For all we know, this could be the Evo Throwback Classic, where we're actually playing none of the new games, and it's all old games.
All the new games and side tournaments.
Yeah. Main stage.
I mean, all that stuff was feasible if they were on next generation consoles. They're like, we have to go back to Dreamcast for Marvel 2, and then PlayStation 2 for CBS 2.
Yeah.
So it's just Strike is like PS2 or arcade board, so it's just a super hassle.
Logistic nightmare.
What are the chances of, say, like a BYOC tournament, like one of the big side tournaments, becoming an official side event? Like, would they have to go through you guys to try to get it done, or if it's big enough, would it automatically be an official side tournament?
Evo really doesn't get involved in the side tournaments. We kind of just let it be the Wild West, and you guys kind of do what you want. Working on getting a sponsor that had kind of a Mad Catzy stage so that people could do their tournament finals in there, because we thought that was a really good fit for Evo back in the day. Because if your game didn't make it, you can kind of have a small stage to show off the game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's we just basically leave it alone because it's politics. If we're giving an official side tournament to someone else, and someone else cries and says we want it too, and then it's just a huge chain reaction.
Oh yeah, I mean that makes sense.
So, speaking of the last 2 weeks and a lot of game announcements happening, obviously Tekken 7 got its console announcement today. How often do you guys at least have clues or clued in to when these games, in terms of a window, so you have an idea to plan?
Well, publishers are generally pretty open with us, and they kind of tell us what the roadmap is going forward, so we kind of have an idea what's coming down the pipe. So, I mean, the board of Evo gets together maybe once a month and kind of discusses the current roster and what we would like to see, and when updates or games come out with new titles, we kind of revisit it. What happens, but generally we have a pretty good idea of what we want to see, and it just kind of fluctuates for when news or announcements come out.
Cool.
Because I imagine, if you knew about as much as we did, you're kind of like, oh man, I hope they make announcements soon because it's getting kind of close. And
yeah,
yeah,
with updates, obviously, they, as I said, they give us a little inside information, so we kind of if a game hasn't been announced, it's on our radar. So when it does get announced, we'll definitely be ready to go. And this is games that obviously are not out yet, so we definitely get a heads up on that. So, but generally we like to make sure a game is out before we put it in the tournament. But obviously there's special exceptions to every rule.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the update thing is just I guess you never really can tell, especially with games that just have a big update seemingly almost every other month.
Yeah,
KOF is definitely dealing with that.
Yeah, and I saw 111 came out a couple days ago or yesterday or something like that, and my PlayStation just downloaded it. I didn't even know what changed. But that's why we kind of try to set a cutoff date for updates that are major. And again, the publishers usually tell us when a big update is coming down the pipe, so that we know the cutoff date. If there's something like a bug, it's actually happened with NRS with MK a couple years ago. There was I think it was either Combo Breaker or CEO had an all Tanya final, and they had contacted us and said, "Hey, we want to put a patch out. Would you guys let us?" And we said, "Yeah, that's not a problem." So I was that was us getting a heads up. It's hey, we're going to patch the game right before Evo so that we have a more diverse final, and that's cool with us.
And then you guys are yeah, sure, we'll just go update, 70 consoles right now.
Yeah. You know what the crazy part about that was Street Fighter had a Nabuki glitch last year.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they put a game on Wednesday of Evo.
Oh,
and
yeah.
had 110 consoles for Street Fighter that needed to be updated. And what they originally told us that the patch was 100 kilobytes, which was awesome, but what they didn't tell us is they slid in the Evo stage, which got revealed that Friday, into the update, which caused it 1.5 gigs. Big patch. So it was like 2 a.m, and we were just downloading like a gig and a half for each console. It was pretty nightmarish. So we obviously don't ideal that situation in any circumstance.
I can imagine like Hanzo Gonzo just downing a ton of Red Bull while staring at a screen.
No, he didn't have to do it. I'm pretty sure it was Andres that had to do it. It was the other short guy, not the shorter guy. Which one was shorter? I don't know. They're both equal. Whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, we're lucky enough to have the great tournament staff, so that like we did that for many years, and now we don't, like, they kind of handle that for us. So we're very thankful that they're super dedicated fans that want to help us out and kind of run the show when we can get some sleep, because we have to be up and going at like 6 a.m. every day. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Are you kind of anticipating
giving rides to Gibby at 5:30 in the morning so we can make sure
Thank you. Again, I'd have been dead without it. I'd have had to walk the Mandalay Bay myself.
I mean, I actually had to, and I had to commentate that Sunday, so it was like just getting there by the time it was ready to go.
Yeah,
almost didn't make
it. Obviously, it wasn't ideal to have a tournament finals across the city. And we obviously have rectified that problem this year. So
never even have to leave the venue.
So that's definitely something that a lot of people were like, they weren't up in arms about it last year, but they were definitely like, oh man, like it would have been great to just kind of been on this side the whole time, especially since all the after party stuff was over on that side. So there was like literally no reason to go back to the other side. I forgot the name of them all, the hotel already actually, but so I assume that you made that executive decision almost like a month after, right?
Well, yeah, sort of. I mean, obviously, as I said, I think I stated last time on the show that it was EVO 2016 was scheduled to be back at Bally's, and it wouldn't have held us. So
definitely
last year was kind of a limbo year. It was like, okay, what do? We need space here. We need space here. And it was obviously not ideal when we tried to bring in Red Bull to kind of help that out, getting buses across town, but a lot of people didn't want to wake up early and take the buses, so they kind of just woke up when they did and took like an Uber or a Lyft or the monorail or however they got across town. So being in the same hotel is actually super clutch, because if you don't like let's say you're on Sunday and you're in the arena and maybe you don't like the second game, you can go take a nap for like 2 hours and then come back.
Just roll out of bed and into my seat.
Yeah, exactly. And then you can like go eat in your hotel room or go grab something in the hotel. It's super convenient. So anyone who stays off property is pretty dumb, in my opinion.
Yeah, veg out. Just have a good time.
Yeah, people treat this as their 1 yearly vacation. They might as well splurge a bit extra to main hotel.
Like I've definitely got some plans myself.
Yeah, it's usually not.
There's actually I actually scoped out in January, and there's literally a McDonald's right across the street, and that thing is going to get like hammered day in and day out.
Oh yeah, they're going to love it and hate it. I mean, the workers will hate it, but you know.
Yeah,
we were tipping well in that bar. It was fun.
Yeah, but I mean, Mandalay Bay has a lot of good food options that are right near the convention center. They have like a Subway, they have a Johnny Rockets, they have a bunch of fun stuff that quick
Johnny Rockets.
Or if you don't want to grab what you want to grab, so it's actually really convenient.
Awesome.
I actually have a pretty good question from the chat. They were asking if you were ever giving some thought to having a seminar where like existing sponsors and teams could get together and possibly discuss what goes into making these kind of events work from the player/sponsor side. And I know that we already have key talks at Evo that you can take part in. Is that something that you would be able to program, or is that something that's completely left up to whoever's programming that individually?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we like to give sponsors and like actual publishers like the chance to talk to their fans at Evo. And we think that's a great opportunity because like sometimes the communication just isn't there. Mm-hmm. So we have a finite amount of panels that we can do. As far as like getting everyone together and kind of just talking about what makes the event roll and the best thing to do. I mean, if that's warranted, we can definitely do it somewhere where everyone goes to, maybe like at a PAX or like a Comic-Con or something like that, do a panel on esports and how the tournaments run and stuff like that. So if the fans want it, we can definitely do it, but they got to demand it.
Okay. So that basically, guys in the chat, make sure you demand that there's a Super Desperation Radio panel at this year, and we'll make that happen.
Well, Evo's a kind of family-friendly event. I mean, not
I was like,
channel. Pretty high.
I think
I don't know about Chris giving
HBO
any
Comedy Central.
keep it under wraps
any
for like 20
day
minutes, right?
in Vegas.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna bring my daughter there, and she'll just sit in the front row, and I'll just be staring at her the whole time I want to say something weird.
I like it. That's good. So, in regards to the announcement tomorrow, I know you can't give us any answers on what's going to be announced, but do you think there's going to be, or do you think, can you say whether or not anything is going to surprise fans?
Yeah, we got quite a few curveballs we're going to throw this year, and so it's definitely going to be a fun time tomorrow. So I would definitely wouldn't miss it.
So what you're telling me?
Check it out.
I mean, just give me the wink and the nudge if you can. But arms getting the last slot on Sunday. I am down. Let's do this.
Well, it's like that is like ARMS is not even a launch title. I pre-ordered my Switch and I can't even go play it on March 3rd. Like that's just super disappointing to me.
It's spring or something like that. Well, it's within a month or two. We could do it.
Yeah, so we'll definitely have some fun tomorrow. I think you guys won't be disappointed when we make some cool announcements. So I definitely think that it's going to be a yabadoo time. So it'll be really cool.
Well, we are doing the recut here.
The remix?
The remix, basically. I don't want to call it a restream because it's not. It's more of a commentary on what's happening there.
We're an audio track.
Yeah, basically, like Mystery Science Theater presents Evo Reveal. You know.
You know what? Those are always the fun things for me to go back and watch after I reveal stuff. Like seeing chat reaction or seeing like people who are actually commentating, like how crazy it gets of like they didn't see the curveball coming is really enjoyable to me. So. I love watching Twitch chat. I love going back and reading NeoGAF's, like their comments on live stuff, and it's just really a fun time for me. So I'm actually super excited to do the broadcast tomorrow.
Mr. Wizard will just be like, and our 6th game reveal is X-Men versus Street Fighter version 2. It's coming back. Be like, oh my god.
Who knew? I know you gotta oh, good.
And then the crazy part is like my Twitter will just be blown up. Like whatever happens. Doesn't even matter. Like if your game doesn't make it or your game makes it, there's going to be some hate out there because we can't. Oh, yeah. So I think I actually I was sitting in my hotel room last year and I was just like reading all the comments coming in, even 3, 4 in the morning. It was ridiculous.
Did you have to like put your phone on vibrate and then it just like flipped off the table like?
You know what's actually really funny is I was in a Heroes of the Storm game one time and my name and there was Mr. Wizard and dude was like, "Hey, are you Mr. Wizard from Evo?" And I was like, "Maybe. Why?" And then like, "F you sell out tournament. I want third so I could CVS 2 bag. You're such a sellout. Bring them back." And he went on for like 20 minutes of just wailing me about like selling out for like Ultra Street Fighter 4, which was the hilarious thing I've ever heard.
Oh my goodness!
Like it took you to Ultra to sell out. Like everything else was great, but Ultra.
How
really
dare
bad.
you?
Yeah, Ultra was the tipping point for him. He was like, "Oh, you've gone too far."
I was with you with Marvel. I was with you with Tech and Tag. We were there. And then no CVS 2. How could you? You betrayed my trust.
Yeah, I mean, Evo's fans are super dedicated, and we love the passion. And obviously, Evo's a celebration of fighting. But yeah, we can't please everyone, and we try to do the best that we can. And the compromises that we make, obviously, are for the event. So, I mean, I look forward to all the hate that I'll get on tomorrow on Twitter. So much welcome.
So is that to say that thuggery is allowed at Evo? Then I mean, they're going to be a.
Thuggery is allowed in the bleachers, man, not on the floor.
Okay.
And I was sitting in my office last year at 11:30 at night on a Saturday, and I get a message saying a fight has broke out between like 2 Marvel players, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun. So I literally raced down, and another dude socked another dude, and I was like, are you kidding me? There's no thuggery. I have to eject you.
Did you not read the clause in the contract?
Read the sign, man. Jesus.
Yeah, we definitely want to keep it a safe event, and we can't allow thuggery. So, I mean, Hell Pockets, you're on the border, dude. Like, we're gonna have to build a wall.
Oh, you're on the bubble, Chris.
All right. For you, I'm gonna go straight like classic Pockets, all corny jokes, dad jokes, no f-bombs.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna pretend like everybody in the audience is a 3-year-old child that I fathered.
Dude,
What
that's
about
the best scenario ever.
So obviously we don't want any thuggery, but what about vigilance to help prevent? Can I take the law into my own hands? Stop right there.
Anything's possible in Donald Trump's America. So.
Oh.
Cut it now.
Yeah, this interview is over.
So, Evo announcement tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Yeah, so 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Wednesday in Tokyo. So check out the announcement show. We'll be live from Santa Monica at the Red Bull Studios with Mike Ross, myself, Mark Mann, and a bunch of other special guests. So it'll be a Yabadoo time. So tune on in.
Nice.
Is it going to be on the Red Bull channel, the Evo channel, which channel?
Yeah, it'll be on the Red Bull Esports channel. Evo channel will be hosting it, so you can chat in our channel or chat in Red Bull's channel, whatever makes you happy.
Awesome.
Nice.
Sounds good.
All right.
All
Well,
right, guys. Thanks for the time, and I hope your game makes it tomorrow. We'll find out.
If my game
man.
doesn't make it, I know where Red Bull Esports Studios is.
So
Don't worry, he's not getting there. He's in the desert.
Hey, you don't know where I'm going to be tomorrow.
Yeah, I do.
Well, I mean, if the rain doesn't stop, it might shut down another freeway out here. This is crazy.
Oh boy.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys.
thank you for joining
Bye,
us.
and,
And,
Take it easy.
Check it out
Always
tomorrow.
a great time.
Have a good one, Joey. And everyone be sure to follow Mr. Wizard on Twitter. He is at Mr. Wiz, all one word, MRWIZ.
All right, take care, guys. Have a good night.
You too.
peace.
You too.
Good night.
Later.
And again, be sure to catch the Evo reveal tomorrow on Red Bull Esports on Twitch.
And also,
6 p.m.
you can watch us live reacting to it on twitch.tv/GameGoonsTV, which will be a collaborative effort between Super Desperation Radio and Game Goons. And I'm going to call it the draft show because that's what it is to me. It's not a reveal. It's a draft because we don't know anything. For the 2017 Evo draft, Joey Cuellar selects KOF 14, and I'm like, yes! I guess what we're gonna do if KOF is in tomorrow, like the stream is probably gonna go down immediately because I'll like smash through my table.
If KOF is in tomorrow, like I definitely feel like we need to pick up our phone our congressman, and tell him show up to play the game.
Don't duck, man.
I want to make a local ordinance of a strict no ducking policy.
And so that actually brings up the what's up? Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say no ducking policy. Tekken ducked apparently its original release date, and it got pushed back to June.
Wow.
Hey, it was delayed. He said he pushed it back. I mean, come on. He
So
ducked
that's actually interesting because obviously there is, Mr. Wizard just mentioned a cutoff date for certain things that want to be an Evo, and we all assume that it's like March or something, right? And sometimes there's allowances made, but this is literally happening a month before Evo.
Yeah, 6 weeks, I believe. And there have been cases where an update came out 2 weeks before Evo, like Ultra Street Fighter 4, or not Ultra. It was Ultra or Super, one of those two, I forgot which. It came out a week or two before Evo, and it made it into Evo. But that was an update to an existing game.
So it can
Tekken
do
7,
it.
yeah. Well, Tekken 7, here's the thing. All of us have Tekken 7 on our list for Evo, right?
Yeah.
Does this change anything for us?
No.
It
Not at
doesn't
all.
change anything for me, but I'm wondering if it changes some things for some people that wanted to compete. Obviously, they're going to play it either way, but they probably wanted a little more than a week to go with it,
So,
Go on, Paul.
I was going to say, so here's my thoughts on it, which is that if Tekken 7 had gotten pushed past Evo, we'd be playing it on consoles like they've been bringing it to events.
Mhm.
And given the Tekken Tour last year, I don't think any of us were really thinking that it was going to be a problem. Like,
No.
people wouldn't have gotten to play it as much, but they were obviously going to Tekken Tour events to play this game anyway, and I think it just would have happened again.
And so, like, those people are fine with it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I could think that would possibly, people that wouldn't be fine with it were the ones that didn't go to the Tekken tours and were just like, I really just want to play the console version. And we don't know how big or small that is. There's always been a percentage of the Tekken scene that doesn't come out to Evo because it's too far. Maybe this is the year that changes, but then they see like how close it is and they're just like, it's teetering, I feel like that. Like, it's not a big deal to me because I would want to play it either way if I was like a huge Tekken fan. So I don't think it's going to affect anything. But still, a month before is I think people are willing to forgive that for a arcade thing because it's just not available at all. But to get the thing that you'll be playing for the next 2 or 3 years a month before the biggest tournament in the world is it's just boom, 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 a little bit all at the same time.
I think, if you read any of the IGN article about it, I think Harada made a pretty good point for why the game got pushed back.
I'm sure it's great, yeah.
Which is that they felt like had they tried to still hit that, Q1, early 2017 date, the game basically would have been incomplete like Street Fighter V was. He didn't come out and say Street Fighter V, but that's what he was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And so he felt like in order to make sure that people got a full game, which they believe that Namco Bandai fans, or Bandai Namco, whichever you want to go with, fans deserve, they pushed the game back. Now, it was a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
Entirely.
Because if they pushed something out early and it wasn't as good, people would have complained. And delaying the game, people are going to complain. So what's better, in my mind, delaying the game?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've talked about this before, I believe. I'm totally fine with games getting delayed as long as it comes out like the best quality product that they want it to be. I definitely don't want a rushed game at the very least.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think this is gonna hurt Evo at all, especially it being in we've already had it where people haven't had the game at all and playing the arcade version, and of course we're still there. So I get it. We've had games that come out pretty close to Evo. This might be the closest yet, but we shouldn't try to look at it and think, oh, it's not going to be in it anyway. So
yeah, I have a strong feeling it's going to be in. I think it's been on everybody's list. It's just the most talked about thing outside of Street Fighter V right now.
Yeah.
Well, and we obviously have the unwritten rule of Evo, which is at least one 3D game.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
And I can almost say surely we're not getting Pokken.
Yeah, you know what really makes me think that we're not getting it is that we've had some updates in the arcade version, and they didn't even announce a Switch version. So I'm thinking,
yeah, exactly.
Maybe next year we might see something. If they do release a new one with more updates and whatnot. But for now, I don't think it's going to happen, which is a little unfortunate. But might as well go with the shiny and new.
Yeah. But at least we got a hard date.
That we did get an actual number date, down to the day.
Mm-hmm.
But you always know how that kind of happens.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lot though, which is weird because I was expecting when they announced the release date, we just get a release date, but we got a lot of different information. We got Eliza from Tekken Revolution added to the cast, which I don't think a lot of people saw coming. I didn't.
Yeah.
We basically we're going to have throwback costumes that are not just, basically like in Tekken 6, they did the whole tap out shirt thing. That was kind of like costumes. But now we're actually getting full old costumes from old Tekken as well as a season pass. So, which means more characters. And I feel like maybe people aren't paying as much attention to that because we got the date. But that means that there's going to be a lot more characters probably in Tekken 7 by the end of this.
I think people are going to be fine with that.
I'm just concerned because I saw pre-order bonuses for PS4 and for Xbox, but I didn't see anything for PC. So, is PC not going to get any pre-order bonus?
Maybe the PC will be the cool guy version that just gets everything.
I believe that all pre-orders get Eliza. The throwback costumes are a PS4 exclusive, And the only thing I saw Xbox One is getting is that you're going to get Tekken 6. So.
Yeah, but the PS4's getting the costumes, right?
Yeah, the throwback costumes. I didn't see anybody else getting those.
No, yeah, I didn't either. So, but I didn't see PC get a single thing, you know, outside of probably being the better game. Well, I mean, that's still not necessarily true though, because we definitely had DOA for the PC, which was a complete piece of trash.
I still haven't played that, so I can't confirm.
I'm hoping that their PC version of Tekken is.
It's Unreal 4, so it should be perfectly fine. It's super easy to port. There shouldn't be any issues. The only issue I'll have is people playing on Wi-Fi with toasters, and that's probably the biggest concern I have.
Man, that would suck too, yeah. But that'll be good for the Steam community. I know that that'll be hot for at least for a minute, and then we gotta think about what's gonna happen with Virtua Fighter, right? Put it on Steam, yeah.
Yeah, dude, I'm actually. Oh my god!
I didn't mean to bring that up. It just kind of came out.
I really want Virtua Fighter.
Virtua Fighter at Evo or just new Virtua Fighter?
On PC, new Virtua Fighter at Evo, all of the above. Just give me Virtua Fighter.
No.
Give me Virtua Fighter Tennis too.
No, exciting times for the Tekken community. Finally, the long wait is nearly over.
Mm-hmm. The biggest unfortunate though is that it's gonna miss final round, isn't it? It's like super late.
So didn't they say they were gonna do something for that?
Well, Steve, that's the thing is we haven't really heard anything. I was assuming that they were just going to bring, because obviously they've been bringing the latest console builds with Miguel and Lee to events, and there was one coming up. I can't remember if it happened already or was coming up in Italy, and so my assumption was that they're going to bring this to final round, but I haven't heard anything.
I think that would be pretty prime for that too, because they could just bring a working copy of console versus mode and run a tournament off of that, right?
Oh yeah, totally, 100%.
So
yeah, that'd be the best.
That part should be working fine.
The real question is, will they be able to bring in enough setups to have a real tournament? You know?
Yeah, they need a lot.
Mm-hmm. Because at the same time, you got to think about security.
When they were running the Tekken Tour, they had a good number of setups.
Okay.
So it just kind of depends on what they're working with now.
Is that on the Tekken Tour though? Like that's specifically a Tekken tournament, right? Like with that many people, it might be really difficult just to have security, measures.
It depends, I think. Just kind of the way the ballroom is laid out, because in the events that I went to, which was like Northwest Majors where they had it, Tekken sort of had their own area so that the people working could basically keep an eye on everything.
Yeah, that's fine. Because, people always want to be like, I want the earliest build and I want to leak it or something, I want to play the game. There's always somebody that might try and do that in any event. Of course. So, I guess it would work. Cool. That or they put it in like a box and just be like, oh.
Oh, the big steel box with the key?
Yeah, here's a USB port. That's all you get.
That's cold-blooded.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, man, we had such a long talk with Joey. It's like all of our topics kind of got blown up.
It's fine. We can definitely speed through them. We already did that. Yeah. The next one, it's checking the settings on the console. Who's responsible for that?
So that was actually something that was interesting in the fact that they had the opportunity to do it and the ability to do it, but nobody did it, and a lot of people were, rightfully pissed about it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we're talking about the Genesis 4 Smash 4 tournament had some controversy in top 8 when it was discovered that after a whole match had been played and moved on to another match with 2 other players, that the console that was being used was actually they had lowered the knockback rate, I believe.
Yeah, it was like 0.9 as opposed to 1.
Or 0.9, yeah. So it wasn't it wasn't just like standard knockback, it was decreased.
Yeah.
And so characters would be at certain percentages, and then people would use a move that they know would normally send them off the screen and kill them, but it didn't knock them back far enough, and they checked it after midway through the second match, and they were like, hey, yeah, it's set to 0.9, which people are saying they don't know why anybody would do that because there's no reason to do it.
Yeah, it must have had to been like a pure accidental input, especially because 0.9 I think is just the next setting over, So nobody really should be touching settings, but
That's true, yeah.
You remember when this happened at NCR? Was it last year or 2 years ago?
2 years ago, I want to say.
Yeah, it happened 2 years ago where I believe it was Kazunoko and he played someone, and they were playing they played 3 or 4 full matches on the old
BJ
version.
Unchained. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so they played 3 to 5 matches of top 8 on a previous patch or a previous update of the game, and it was discovered later on, and then people were like, oh shit, well this isn't the right version. What are we gonna do? Well, let's go back and just replay all of top 8. So what they did, they updated. They got a console with the right update and did that. Now, mind you, that was 4 to 6 full matches. I don't know the situation that happened at Genesis. From what you're saying, Chris, it was just 1 match or 1.5 matches, and they discovered
it was like 1 matches, and there was I think they played like maybe 1 set of the second match that was happening.
Okay, so that they could have just went back and played it. Simple, yeah. It would have been easier.
So that's when they run into the second part of this story where the staff was saying, no, there's time constraints. We can't do that for you. And, the previous match, the results stand regardless of the fact that it was being played under a altered system.
Yeah.
And I think the people that were involved with that were pissed, but there was talks about some players talking about, I want refund on my travel expenses and whatnot. I want everything reimbursed.
Yeah, that's a bit ridiculous of an outcry for a 0.9,
I mean, if that would have been all that set apart from you winning and losing, because there was definitely a recounting of a moment where somebody should have won, but the 0.9 screwed them.
Right.
And so at that end, you're just do you just say there's time constraints, or do you say, you know what, here's $5, man?
Well, not even that. It's more of I came out here to compete and I lost because of this, and that kind of does suck. But you want all your money back because of that? That's a bit egregious, don't you think?
Well, we kind of witnessed something like that. Remember, Anthony?
Oh yeah, we totally did.
Well, either way, that's a different story. In this case, so the TO, since this was a stream setup, from what I'm told. So the TL should have made sure it worked fine. All the settings were straight. At the same time, the streamers, the people running the stream, should also check it as well to make sure it's right, so there's no issues. And the players should also check the goddamn thing too, just to make sure someone else who's on the console didn't change anything by accident. You want to make sure it's all straight, all right. And I know everyone just assumes, okay, well, I'm just going to play on this version, it's going to be fine. I'm going to play this, it's fine, nothing's wrong. No one assumes there's anything wrong, and I get that, but still, you should better safe than sorry. You don't want a situation like this to arise. You fix it here. Unless, hypothetically, the players would have went in, fixed it, or saw, oh shit, hey guys, that 0.9. Switch it back, done. Nothing. There's be zero controversy. Now there's just a bunch of controversy. Thing is, it's not. That's one of the things in the back of almost every player's mind. They just want to play. They don't care. They just assume everything is ready for them. Everything is set, just fine. So you have access to do it now. In the old arcade days, we didn't have that access. Where and I know old man story, whatever, but we would hold tournaments on a cab, and some arcade operators would set the damage to 1 or 2 points higher.
Oh yeah. So
that way the matches end quicker. That way they make more money. The tournament doesn't last as long. Different time now. I mean, it's silly. Are the TOs at fault? Yeah. Technically it's mainly their fault, but the players should have checked as well.
Wasn't this an issue too, or not necessarily an issue, but a concern for Guilty Gear at EVO?
Yeah, latency issue.
Yeah, people would change the delay setting to turn it up to be more like an arcade.
What was it? The Japanese players turned it up?
The Japanese play with more because Japanese arcade machines have, I think it's 1 more frame.
Yeah. Not just naturally, I think, because of...
yeah, it's because of the way their Nesca cabinets work.
Yeah. So, yeah, be ever vigilant.
I look at it it's definitely on the TOs. Everybody is a little bit at fault because nobody was checking. Everybody just assumed that everything was going as planned. But it does fall on the TOs, and it's their responsibility. Now, what's not their responsibility is having to make amends. Everybody's oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. You don't have to do shit. Bad things happen, and sometimes shit gets messed up. So, now... would it look better for the tournament if they, in some way, did something for this player or the players who kind of got screwed over by it, yeah, that would be nice. But they don't have to. I mean, and the sad thing is that Genesis is a really big tournament. I don't think it's going to stop people from going back.
No. There's no reason they should not go back.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that this happened to one person or two or three people that were in a very high position in the tournament standing, it really sucks. It makes it extremely more visible. But what if it happened to like somebody in pools, you know, and they lose a pool match over it? Is that person just like, whatever, man, it's pool, stop crying? Versus somebody in top 8, like, you don't want to send that message.
Yeah, but ultimately, this is like that's part of the issue, but not necessarily one at hand. It's just more so, if you're serious about competing in these kind of things, you should probably take a bit more responsibility on your own.
At all times.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people are making a big deal out of this. I personally feel the Super Mario Brothers Melee thing
That's pretty bad.
That's a bigger issue than this to me. Because
all the misprinted medals.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the misprinted medals is just like the Evo championship thing.
Yeah.
That is on the fault of the person who ordered it. And why in the hell would you say, hey, like, I'm running a Smash tournament, I'm going to get this Super Mario Brothers Melee. Someone's probably just sent it like that without thinking it. Again, we talked about this during the championship series thing. This is why you get someone to double check everything you do and triple check with someone else. Evo staff there's like 4 to 10 people, whatever. You could have had at least 3 of those people check it. I don't know how the Genesis staff works, but I guarantee you they have like 5 people that could have just glanced at the medal, like, oh hey.
And what's really bothersome about this is not only could you have plenty of people do it, you could have had them do it all in a span of 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could have had 10 different people each just check in 10 minutes. And if you didn't check because, say, they got, you know, like we were talking about Evo, like if they got the lanyards, if they got these medals the day before the event, so they couldn't change it and they just went with it, well, then you fucked up, and that's definitely on you.
Yeah.
Because if you ever have to have printed materials, you should have that well enough in advance that if there are any errors at all, you can send that shit back and demand a full refund and new stuff.
Or get like a test product, you know, and then double check it. Once it's done.
I mean, a lot of printing uses tests. Like you get a mock-up. So I don't know how that happens. I really don't know how that happens.
How they get away with not doing that, right? That seems like standard procedure for running such a huge event.
People are unprofessional. There's no other way around it.
Speaking of unprofessionalism, what do you guys feel about the teabagging in games? Disrespectful, taunting, dancing?
So
maybe a holiday.
Do whatever the hell you want. As long as you're not physically touching the other person or berating them, you're fine.
Yeah, I mean, totally agree with that. This is a game of mental fortitude at its core, and if you let things like that rattle you, like maybe you need to reevaluate.
Yeah, you need to reevaluate and possibly, you know, well, let's.
I'm not saying go out and be an asshole, but
in this particular case, it was about somebody who reacted to this by being an asshole, and instead of the people that were responsible for making stuff happen involved with this, reacting to this by saying, "Hey, man, don't be a dick." That's all you got to do.
React to teabagging. Don't sue me, please.
Yeah, basically, you know how that would end? It's basically they watch some guy teabag him and they say, "I'm gonna fucking kill you."
Well, you didn't even say that. There probably was no death threat. It was just merely.
Well, I mean, yeah, it wasn't a death threat, but I'm just saying, like in general, there was a very adverse reaction to the teabagging, and then afterwards there were some things said that were, you know, threats, as people were saying, and instead of the reaction being, and most people are going to tell you probably should have banned the guy for threatening him, right, or just banned.
Oh yeah. But I heard that wasn't the case. You say, sorry, they were okay. But now teabagging is forever banned, abolished.
Because it could set a guy off who can't control himself.
Yeah, and that's the real problem, is that it really should fall into the individual, you know? It isn't, I mean, I understand why you would do this. It really isn't professional. It doesn't really take away anything from your product because it kind of represents a person's character more so than that. But if someone got so upset to threaten physical violence, that the onus is on them, you know?
Yeah, you know who does that? Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley gets pissed off in the middle of the game and he starts punching people. It's on the 6 o'clock news, and people are like, "Hey, man, in 10 years, we want you to be an anchorman for this shit." Like, this stuff is so prevalent in pro-competitive anything that they just realize, like, you know, we have to just let these guys do what they have to do. These guys and girls are going to have to get, you know, into the heat of battle, and whatever shakes out afterwards, we'll deal with it afterwards, you know?
Yeah.
As long as it's not like you can bring a knife into the damn arena and stab them over it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's how it would have been back in the day, but, you know.
Yeah.
No, this is the thing. Like, anytime violence is brought up, the person just instantly should not be allowed to come to an event. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the issue with that is there's this huge double standard. Like, let's use Low Tier God as an example. How long did he threaten violence against Jay and other people at events?
Pretty much since he popped on the scene.
Yeah, and he still does it, and it's perfectly fine. Like, everyone's like, ha ha, oh, he's just a guy, whatever. I have no idea who did this KI thing. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't do much digging, but everything that I read when I was looking up for it said, oh, we're not going to mention the name. We don't want, like, a witch hunt for the person, whatever. That's fine, whatever. I don't care. But either way, he's instantly banned. They took care of it. And I get that. I completely agree with it. You threaten to beat the shit out of someone or do, like, cause bodily harm to someone. You shouldn't be allowed to go to an event or, like, multiple events, whatever. That's how it should be. We play video games. We're playing a competitive video game with each other for fun, for money, for whatever the hell it is. And if you can't keep your goddamn emotions and feelings in check when it comes to someone doing something in a game that isn't affecting you, like, you know, like, if I was, like, if we're playing and I'm just sitting there, like, shoving you, like how Chris, like how you and I do when we joke around, we'll, like, elbow each other.
Yeah.
If I'm doing that to someone in a tournament setting, I completely understand them just getting up and decking the shit out of me. That's fine. I get it. I provoked the crap out of him physically. Not in a game. Oh, hey, look, I pressed down a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Here's the funny thing. Like, it's kind of sidebar, but, like, remember back at NCRX and you were playing that match in losers.
Oh, I was going to beat the shit out of that guy.
And that dude bumped you and you were going to beat the shit out of him, right? Now, the thing is, like, that dude turned around and was just all like, whatever, right?
Yep.
And that was the part where I was like, I was going to tell you to calm down, but when he gave you that shrug, I was like, well, I mean, you know, you might as well give him something to shrug about.
For those who don't know, I should have made top 8 at NCR that year. But this guy bumped me while I was playing with his big-ass backpack that was, like, bigger than Hell Pockets.
He had, like, no business being in the pool area.
Yeah.
That was stupid.
And my instant reaction was I stood up while he was doing this, and I was going to deck him in the face. And that's just me. But you know what I did? I controlled it. I didn't do it. And I had Hell Pockets and Walkman tell me not to do it. That was the bigger thing. Because I definitely would have knocked the guy out. I'm not going to sit here and say I wouldn't. I would have just laid him out just for doing that.
He wouldn't be able to get back up because that backpack was weighing him down pretty heavy, man.
Oh yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure if I just decked him, he would have fallen onto the body of people beside him. Because, like, this is not an exaggeration. There was this much space between me and the player behind me for Marvel. Like, the KOF setup was here, and Marvel was here. There was literally this much space. Only out of everyone on this goddamn podcast, only Paul can walk that way, and he'd have to waddle through like this. It wouldn't be easy for him to do. And this guy was like, he was slightly smaller than me with a backpack that was 4 times the size of my belly. And it's not an exaggeration. It was a massive backpack for no reason. And he just turned around and whacked me with it. Whoever you are, fuck you. There you go.
I think the biggest thing about this really is we're talking about stuff that they're doing in the game. Like, this isn't even people getting in your face and talking shit, which is always happens in every sport ever. And that, like, we're not even talking about this. We're talking about stuff that is limited to what you can do in a game. No, I'm sorry. That should not be restricted or removed. And the people should be. If you can't act right, get the fuck out.
Like, you have no business being here in the first place.
Now, if you want to talk about trash talk, I also think that trash talk is fine. But hey, if somebody thinks you step over a line and punch you in the face, well, you got punched in the face.
Yeah, you were asking for it, literally. So.
Yeah, that person can be dragged out, and they should be dragged out and banned. But maybe you should be careful what you say to people.
Yeah, I mean, you know, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. You talk hella shit, expect to get hella hit.
Yeah. I should be reading chat. I'm giggling at chat. Chat makes a good point on something.
There's definitely something to be said about that, though, because, like, a lot of people feel like that, you know, it should be their right. And I guess, in a way, it is their right to be in the middle of a match and be like, you know what, man, you fucking suck. Don't even get up from the stick and, you know, call him this, that, and the other. And the guy didn't have a right to put his hands on you, but at the same time, it's like, you know, that's where stuff starts blurring up, you know? Like it happens in pro sports also. Obviously, there's a lot of trash talk in pro sports, and a lot of the times that stuff ends up being physical, you know?
Yeah. But you know what the best part is that if I talk hella shit and some person hits me, you can expect, especially me, to press charges as soon as possible. So remember that there are actually bigger consequences for your actions than there are mine.
Hey, man, just look at it this way. In the last game of his professional career on the international stage, French footballer Zinedine Zidane headbutted a guy for talking shit about his mom. This was the World Cup final. He got ejected because the guy said something. He's like, I'm not going to let that stand. Straight headbutted him in the face. Got red carded and thrown off. That was how he ended his international career. And he was fine with it.
Yeah. So don't talk crap to the guy who's fine with getting banned for life.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like he went out. Hey, you know what? He probably went out on top of him. He's like, damn right, you're not going to talk shit about my mom.
Yeah.
Well, if you had to end your career in a way more spectacular, if you had to end your career in a way more spectacular than just having like a huge send off, like trophies and stuff, a flying headbutt isn't that bad of a way to go out. Yep.
So, I'm just saying, you know, like I said, look, I'm all for shit talk, and you know, people can do whatever they want, make a spectacle of themselves, but at the same time, maybe consider where you are and who you're dealing with, because there are consequences.
Incredible consequences.
Think about that. Like, there are consequences to what you do. There will always be consequences to what you do. So maybe just consider that before you say something or do something. That's all I'll say.
So I want to transition to the next topic, but I have no idea what this next topic's about. Chris?
It's actually pretty similar to this because I actually read an article today that was put up by, I forget who the person was putting up. It was a publication. Basically, it was talking about the hostility that exists within the FGC. I'll see if I can get that up for you in a second. It was an article called Negative Edge. Anyway, they were just talking. Basically, it was a lot of talk about how the FGC kind of just treats other games within itself like crap for the sake of being crappy people, more or less. And I think we've discussed this before, but it kind of got a little bit of a dialogue going, I think, because some people started saying that, you know, we need to be more like the Dota players because they're not scumbags. And I'm like, yeah, what? You know?
You don't know about Dota player dirt? All right.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like, when I hear stuff like that, and it's not just Dota players, obviously. Like, when I hear stuff like, these players in this game need to be like these players in this other game because these other players don't ever do anything, I'm just like, that's impossible. Like, do you realize we are literally cut from the same mold? We just chose a different path.
Does anybody realize that the now CEO of Evil Geniuses has several videos on YouTube that are dedicated to him literally shitting on his teammates? There are videos. Just go look up PPD flaming his teammates.
Yeah, not only that, there's like a bunch of people that talk shit in all chat, even at tournaments sometimes. We got people like Puppy, who's got this whole controversy around him and the way he ran Team Secret. There's dirt. There's super dirt. You can go out and find it right now.
And that's just Dota. There's dirt on all of these games. We could talk about CSGO and all the American players who basically got banned for life.
Yeah.
Like, there is dirt in every game.
The only thing that's really different about Dota is that when the international comes around, they don't have any sponsors, so they don't really have to like be at Super Esports because they're $1 billion corporation. So
no, yeah, totally. And so it's easier to hide that. It's easier to make it look better, by comparison. And we obviously are still very grassroots. So like whenever one of our, for every infiltration in Justin Wong and whatnot that we have Infiltration's crazy ass cousin showing up, shooting guns off in the air. Not literally, of course, but like figuratively. So it's one of the things that, we can neither avoid nor I think should we, because there's no real reason to, I mean, if people should avoid acting up and being stupid and talking shit about other people's games and just overall being crappy people. That's a good lesson to live by. But it's not like it's exclusive to us. And so I think, like, once again, people feel kind of picked on. I don't think it's necessarily because of this article. I don't think this article mentions it. I just think people read stuff like this and they say, man, like, why does the FGC cannibalize itself like that? And I'm like, man, everybody fucking does that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you know.
People really need to stop comparing it. Like, I think you want to say that the fighting game community can do better. All right, full stop. Let's make the fighting game community better. Let's stop comparing it to other games because everybody's got their problems, and maybe shut the fuck up and start doing work.
Yeah.
Basically.
I'm honestly tired of it. Like, you want to talk about problems within the fighting game community that the fighting game has in and of itself. Okay, let's work on that. But stop being like the fighting game community is the worst because of this, and this, and this. Who fucking cares? Everybody's got their problems. Work on your problems then.
But I want my Facebook memes on Twitter and Kappas in my chat. You know?
No, you want to know what it comes down to at the end of the day. Again, violence. FGC could beat the shit out of all these other goddamn gaming scenes.
I mean,
guarantee you. You know why? Because it's got me in hell pockets. No, you think PPD? No, we'll take on all of EG by ourselves. All EG, Dota, past, present, future members. Now we'll put them all in a torture rack. Even Mason, we got you.
You ever see a nerd skull get caved in one punch? Well, you're about to.
As Gibby breaks his hand and the rest of his body shatters with the impact.
Yeah, but you know, his head also shatters too. Just everybody shatters. It's called Shatterhand for a reason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that, really.
Yeah, and then now we've got updates. Updates on what?
Updates on, well, this is mainly like, I believe there is a new Skullgirls patch that came out.
Comes out tomorrow.
Comes out tomorrow.
Or is it today?
It said the 23rd, but it's pending, so it'll probably be, coming out for, the platforms later today, tomorrow.
Yeah, probably Steam will roll out tonight, probably.
Yeah. And there are a lot of changes. If you want to,
I looked at that.
It's live right now, according to the Mission Start podcast.
Oh,
okay.
Sweet. So, yeah.
Go for it.
If you just go to the webpage, the official skullgirls.com webpage, you can find a link to all the changes. But there's some substantial gameplay changes that are happening. I mean, it doesn't change the game ridiculously. I mean, it does change it a lot, but it doesn't change it to the point where it's a completely different game. Mm-hmm. But oh man, there's so first of all, the most important thing people usually are like, hey, we're gonna have lobbies now on console, not just computer. But there's added tutorials, there's more options you can put in training mode. The Japanese voices aren't out in any place but Japan yet, but they will be added later. People will be able to choose what voices they have for each characters, and when they play against other people online, those persons' personal choice for their own characters will have those same voices, or the alternate voices, bug fixes out the wazoo. I mean, gameplay changes of when you hit max on Dizzy. When you glow green and take damage, there's even more combo scaling even underneath minimum scaling. So it's try and prevent people from just dying from a ending a solitary big hit just killing you. It probably still happen. People have to rethink about how things. But even character changes, this is ridiculously huge, and I can't even truncate it into this amount of time. You have to just go to skullgirls.com and check it out because there is just amazing amount of changes, and it's honestly pretty awesome. The fact that this is a game that almost maybe didn't get off the ground, and people put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, spent a lot of their time, and definitely ate a lot of cost just to get this out to people. And now look at it, they didn't back out on promises. If you want transparency, I don't think there's been any fighting game made or any company that's been more transparent about their product than Lab Zero. So definitely check it out if you're.
I would point out, by the way, that when I heard the lobby patch was coming and the voices patch to allow you to have Japanese and English voices, I really thought that's all this patch was going to be. Because that's kind of the way it was being, said. Mike Z was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have the lobby patch," and then I started looking at the patch notes because you told me it was out, and I'm like, "Oh hell, that's a lot."
Yeah, it's not even second encore
it just keeps
anymore.
Going.
It's second encore plus now.
Basically.
No, it really is. They changed the title screen.
Oh, well, there you go.
Woo.
So,
And that's the update. That's a pretty nice update. Shit.
I guess
and
this means
updates.
we'll be getting the physical version soon then, because the update's done.
Well, yeah, they still have a little bit of touch, but yeah, hopefully, because I definitely pre-ordered with my
Same.
PS4 copy.
Speaking of updates, King of Fighters World Cup updates. What I don't remember what we had last week, but the invites have been set to the 2 Japanese players. One is M Dash, the other is Picnic, and then 2 of the 3 international players have been invited. One is Freenel from, I believe he's going to be representing Morocco, and the other is Kane Blue River, as many of you know, Kane Blue River, Marvel guy. Third hasn't been announced, and of course with stuff like this, there's a huge mixed reaction. People are mad, people are happy.
If my count is correct, there's only one more spot then, right?
Yes, there's just one more invite, and that's all that's left.
Okay.
I forgot where we were last week when we did the show, so I'm not going to sit here and just say, hey, yeah, so this is what, no. I'm just going to go on with these names. What's up?
The thing that bothers me is that we don't really have, we have, like, fan-generated lists of people that were invited, but we don't have anything from SNK yet. And that would help a lot, especially right now where we could actually pull up some faces and, like, put it together. Instead, we got to pull up that graphic that was made by, I think it was Freenel or something. Well, whoever made it. And it's, I don't know. I'd prefer something official.
Something official would be best because people still don't think this list is official.
Yeah. It looks like it's very fan-made. I'll put it that way. It looks very fan-made. This kind of bleeds into our first question, actually, though, because a friend of the show, Reiki, asked, what are the cast feelings on the KOF 14 WCS invitees and the 16-man roster now? Can we expect a good show?
Can I answer this for everyone?
Sure.
Don't fucking invite people. Don't do that. You make everybody play. Simple as that. You're going to piss people off when they get invited. And it's going to hurt the end result because no matter how you look at it, there are better players than whoever you're inviting.
Oh,
and
yes.
They could have won a spot. Mind you, these people could have won a spot. They didn't go to any of the qualifiers to get a spot. That's not M-Dash and Picnic, I believe, did. Right?
M-Dash actually won a pretty, intense tournament, though, and he's been winning tournaments since then.
But that's not the qualifier.
That's not a qualifier. That's true. I'm not sure Japan even had a qualifier.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I don't think they had a qualifier either.
I think... Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. Go.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think the biggest problem with invites, especially in a game that actually has such a spread out player base globally like KOF, is that once you start inviting people, you end up leaving certain people out, certain countries end up unrepresented, and that's a problem. We talked about how basically there's a ton of players out in, what were you saying, was it Saudi?
Just the Middle East in general, like Pakistan, Morocco, just the Emirates. They have a lot of players out there, and Freenel was invited from. I'm going to assume for the Moroccan region. People are saying it's the African region, whatever. No knock to Freenel, but he's not winning the tournaments in his region. There are players better than him in his region. Like, why not reach out to one of them? Like, we don't know the circumstances as to why people are getting invited. Again, this goes to the whole transparency thing Walkman brought up earlier. People are saying SNK is very transparent. Please explain to me how they're transparent. Like, I would love to know. I've worked with the company for so long. I know people in the company. You tell me how they're transparent. I mean, they can tell me how they're transparent. Come on.
There isn't really a European, because I guess maybe they're trying to basically kind of wedge Freenel in as being both European and.
That's going to make people upset.
That could be it. They could be using him as the European and the African qualifier spot. We don't know.
That kind of sucks for both. That sucks for both regions.
Yep.
To be honest.
Yeah.
And then you have so the Americas, North and South, had a total of 4 or 5 qualifiers, and they invited Kane Blue River, Chilean. They held the Latin American qualifier 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I forgot when it was, in Peru, which is a bordering country to Chile. Like, he could have gone and played.
All right, so that's something I wanted to bring up also, is the fact that he was definitely within his realm to travel to the event, and he's supposed to be known for traveling everywhere, so that shouldn't have been that much of a problem. I don't know. Maybe there was a problem for him to get out there. I don't know. But it seems like if you have a qualifier in a region, there's no reason to invite somebody from that region.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, I don't care that they invited him. I'm upset that they invited someone from a region that had a qualifier.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I still think...
Go on, Anthony.
I was just going to say, I understand kind of why they're doing this. They're trying to get, obviously more exposure, trying to get more like the competitors. But with how short term this is going to be, and how if they really wanted to, like, if we're going to have this many invites, this should have just been an invite only PR, like, essentially tournament.
I completely agree with you.
Like, if there should have been no qualifiers at this point, if they were going to go back on it. And I understand maybe, this is like, oh, shoot, we probably should have just invited anyways. But don't just give away spots if you're going to have people play.
Yeah, don't mix. Yeah. Don't do some quals, some invites, because, like, we're already talking about, people are just going to be upset no matter what you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's frustrating because, like you said, nobody knows what was up with this South American qual, like whether he could have gone anyway or he couldn't have gone. But again, that's something that people don't know. And of course, when you don't know and you don't have information, that creates speculation and rumor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is a bad situation to be having either one of those in, because there's already so many questions, and this just created more questions. And the kind of transparency that SNK has right now is the kind that I've been saying is like, it's not like they it's good for them, because they've definitely had much less in the past. Like, they've definitely not discussed with us their process with releasing patches and stuff, because they've never done it.
Yeah.
So this is definitely something new for them.
And I just want to point out, like, when we talk about transparency, that about SNK being more transparent is fair. To say that they're transparent is complete bullshit. Yeah, this event has not been transparent at all. If we want to talk about transparency, let's talk about Arc System Works basically coming out and saying, all right, we're going to have a location test for this new game. Here's the new game. Here's the location test data. Go play. Yeah. Give us feedback. We're going to have another test coming up. Then we're going to have changes in that too. Give us feedback. Go.
Well, if that's the case, then SNK used to be more transparent than they are now.
Yeah.
Because SNK did that before Arxis was doing that.
Well, I mean, they did all have the same employees at some point in time.
Yeah, I know, that's what I was going to say. It was all the same people. But yeah, it's the whole point to having a world championship type deal is to see who's the best. You want the best to be there, and you have these 5 invites. Who, mind you, they could be great players, they could be shitty players. It doesn't matter. They didn't earn a spot. They're just like, hey, here you go. Like, again, I mentioned this last week. Why not invite Hell Pockets?
Yeah.
Like, this is a real thing. Hell Pockets is one of the top 3 biggest names in King of Fighters all around the world. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not putting him on a pedestal. This is just the truth. Everyone I talk to from every region, they know of Hell Pockets. And they know him for King of Fighters. Whether it's commentary, whether it's playing, it doesn't matter. Why isn't he invited?
I don't have a passport, by the way, so don't invite me. But yes,
you're supposed to get one. Goddamn! I told you to get one.
Hey.
Anyway, so let me field this here next question. Let's see what it is. Where are these questions?
Next question, I believe, comes from. Actually, a lot of these are like non-questions. There's a lot of SDR memes.
Oh yeah.
I like the SDR meme. So there's this one. Well, this was supposed to be for Wizard. What kind of countermeasures will Wizard use to prevent sudden Markman break-in? The problem with that is Markman is part of the
crew now.
He's on the inside.
Yeah. Oh, so actually, you know what they're gonna do to prevent the break-in is that now that he works for him, he has to deal with the corporate structure. So
yeah.
He'll actually be getting them coffee the whole time. He'll never.
Can Markman go straight? I don't know, man.
Hey, Mark, we need you to go to Starbucks. Not the close one. I don't like that one. The one across town. And I need you to get there probably around 6:30. Bring the coffee back.
Starbucks in Orange County for us. I like that one.
So let's see. All right, I'm not going to try to read your name, but your name is Benny something. It says, what do you think, or who do you think should be the last player invited? I don't give a fuck who the last player invited is. I'm sure everyone's going to agree with me on that. Right, guys?
Nope, don't care.
All right. I care for this tournament, but I don't care for invites. And who will take top 3 there? I personally will not try to guess who's going to get top 3 until the brackets are released.
I'll tell you who I want to take top 3. I want Noah to be in top 3.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. Who you want, but who do you think?
Who do I think?
Yeah.
I can say who's not going to be in it.
All right. Yeah. Go ahead. Tell me.
I can say that can be it. I don't think KBR is going to be in top 3.
No, you don't say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. I don't think.
You are treading lightly right now.
I'm just like, let's see how many people can I piss off in one sentence.
I don't think Cypher is going to be in there. I don't think KBR is going to be in there, and I don't think Crenell is going to be in there.
No.
It's not a knock to anyone. It's just that I don't think they're on the same caliber as a lot of other players.
As a commentator, it's my job to actually give the opinion on this. And if I have to go with my expert opinion, the 4 kings are M-Dash, Reynolds, Xiaohai, and
the 4th one's tough,
I want to say E.T.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say E.T.
It's really tough, the 4th one. All right. Can you give me this? Okay, we already did that. Any other questions? Oh, shit. Okay, well, hold on. I'm sorry. There is one question. It's from the Hound. I was going to skip it, but we don't have any more questions. So the Hound asked, we should have asked, or he says, we should have asked Mr. Wizard if the Nevada Miss Latin America pageant lines up with Evo this year, like it did last year. I think the problem with that is that would be too much of a clue as to whether or not King of Fighters is in Evo, right?
Well, not only that, we're not going to be at the Westgate, so hopefully
That's what it's called. Okay.
Yeah. Hopefully, they'll show up to the Mandalay Bay.
There's a different kind of Miss Latin America going on at Mandalay Bay, so yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Look, all I'm going to say is if I had seen anybody creeping on those little kids last year, somebody was getting beaten.
There wasn't just kids. Come on now.
Okay,
there
now
was
we're
basketball tournament.
It's like a
thing
families. Oh yeah, no, it was back. Yeah, there was like a.
I was betting on that shit all day, man.
Wasn't there hockey like last year or something? I don't remember.
Like that. And then the Elvis convention.
Yeah, the Elvis convention was great.
Yeah.
So we are we're out of time technically, but who gives a shit? We need to do Evo predictions.
Right.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
so
right. Yes.
I'm gonna write all this down. Okay, I've got this. So we're gonna start. Paul, you got Evo predictions?
All
right, cool. Is that
so
Alex?
what are we doing? We doing 7 games?
7 games.
However many games you think will be.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow, now it's interesting. Now we're talking.
That's the problem. All right.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
Joey definitely said we're all going to be surprised. Let's surprise ourselves. Let's do this.
Okay, so SF5.
Okay, SFV.
Tekken 7.
Tekken 7.
Rev 2.
Rev 2.
Now it starts to get dicey. Injustice 2.
J2.
KOF 14.
Okay.
Let me see. What else? Man, I don't know from that point.
That's 5 games so far you've got.
Yeah.
And you
That's
don't
what's
have,
weird.
Skip me and
don't
come
have-
back to me.
Yeah. Okay, I was going to say you don't have a Smash yet.
I know. I'm trying to think about those.
All right. Alex, you're here.
Mm-hmm.
What games do you think are going to be in Evo?
Melee.
All right. Melee.
Street Fighter 5.
SFV.
So we got SFV. A Guilty Gear.
AGG. All right.
So that's 3. So Injustice 2, because, the community's obviously represented itself very thoroughly in order to have proper representation at the global stage.
Mhm.
So that's 4. Tekken 7, because I'm pretty sure we're going to have exactly 3 weeks of practice for it.
5 weeks of practice.
5 weeks, my apologies. 5 weeks.
Mhm, mhm,
All right, so that's 5. Man, that leaves a 2 there. So did Joey say we're going to be surprised? I caught a bit of it while I was driving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said we're going to be surprised. He
Well,
didn't.
there'll be some curveballs, I believe.
Yeah, he didn't say whether or not we're going to get more or less games, whatever. But you can always assume there's going to be one additional game added to Evo. So.
Uh-huh. Okay, so I think the curveball is going to be that Skullgirls actually gets the representation it deserves.
Okay,
Without being relegated to a side Mad Cat stage or whatever the fuck else they want to throw at them.
Mhm.
I think that's the big curveball.
Okay.
And I think if they're really going to fucking throw us the curveball, I'm talking like a Tijuana Twister. We're going to have a Ultra Street Fighter. I can't even finish this fucking That game's such fucking trash looking.
Nah,
Yeah,
dude,
we-
HDR comes back, baby.
So
Oh,
you missed
get
it.
off. Just
We
leave.
definitely discussed that Street Fighter 2 iteration, and there's no chance of it being in Evo.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so let's throw that out. In that case, let's say it's going to be an Ultra Street Fighter 4 tournament, Elena only.
All right. USF
That would be the normal tournament.
Mm-hmm.
only 11. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games you got there. You want to add anything else? Or you done?
I think honestly, the only thing that I could see them adding is I want to think that we're not going to have the 2 Melee games, but if anything, we're probably just going to have the other Melee game.
Okay, yeah. We don't need too many Melee games.
So now, do you mean Super Mario Brothers for Wii U or Super Mario Brothers Melee?
Actually,
Give me Super Mario Brothers Melee, please.
I think what I meant was actually Super Mario Brothers 64.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
Nobody saw that one coming.
All right.
No,
so
that's
Anthony,
the curveball.
Yeah.
Okay, Street Fighter 5, Tekken 7, Injustice 2, Melee, Smash 4. I'm gonna go King of Fighters 14. I'm just gonna say, and let's see. I was just
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games so far.
Rev 2.
Rev 2. That's 7.
And I think Central Fiction might also show up.
See ya. Okay,
If we could have,
see ya.
yeah, if we could have 2 Smashes, I think we could have 2 anime. That's the curveball.
So I'm gonna do mine. I'm gonna go Street Fighter, KOF, Tekken 7, Rev 2, Melee. No, Smash 4, and Melee. Fuck it, why not? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Melee. Missing something. Injustice 2. And do I got Rev? Yeah, I got Rev. Boom, bang, boom, 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 boom. Marketables. Okay, so Hell Pocket.
Sneak.
All right, I'm consulting the list that I wrote down a week ago that I was feeling pretty good about for Pockets picks. Let me just get that real quick.
Oh, I forgot about Marvel. Shit.
Oh, looks like I'm gonna win all the money.
Oh no, I should have said that. Marvel is marketables.
Marvel is marketables. Okay.
Yeah.
Marvel of the Wolves. There you go.
Shit, I cannot find it. Damn it. Well, I'll just go off top. So, Street Fighter 5.
See?
Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Injustice 2.
Mm-hmm.
Smash 4.
Mm-hmm.
How many is that? It's 4, right?
4.
4. KOF 14, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Tekken 7.
Mm-hmm.
Guilty Gear.
Mm-hmm.
And that's 7, right?
It's 7.
So I'm thinking there's an 8th game. Moneyball.
Moneyball, okay.
I think we will get Blaze Blue.
Oh, you too. Okay, so see, that's CF, right?
Yeah, we will get CF.
Yes.
All right. So
All
I'll
right,
put these
so-
up on the official
Hold
SBR
on.
Twitter.
I'm sitting on 5, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to say last 3 games are Smash 4, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and Pokken.
Ooh, he's going with the Pokken.
Oh damn, the Pokken return.
See, I was debating on Pokemon. I don't know.
The reason I didn't think so is because it's such a sort of like a disparate community, but also that's why I think it might come back, is because it is a different... They're always looking for unique entries, and I bet a lot of people who entered Pokken last year were unique entries.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what we were talking about last year leading up to Pokemon, that it's going to bring so many unique entries in.
The thing is, here's the one thing I can't say for sure is I don't know how Pokken tournaments do.
Mm-hmm.
So if Pokken is not really getting entries places, then it's not coming back. But it did really well at Evo last year, from what I could tell, in terms of entries. And again, that's a game that's going to draw in a much different crowd.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
So
Okay. No, everyone fine with their list?
I want to add Marvel as well. 9
I'm
games.
still trying to find the list.
Ooh, 9 games. Oh,
Yep.
shit.
honestly, if I had to go with the 9th, I'd say Melee.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
do
you think
wanna go
Melee's
with them?
dead? You think Melee's dead?
I honestly think that Smash 4 will get in. If there's only one, it's going to be Smash 4.
If Splatoon 2 would have been out by Evo, I would have said Splatoon 2.
I will cut you, Anthony.
Last year, I said that I only thought one Smash game was going to get in, and we still got 2. So
So is the omission from all of our lists KOF 14? Like,
No, I said KO 14.
I said KOF. Nobody said KI though.
All
No,
of us,
nobody
yeah.
said
I would say
KI.
all of us said KOF 14 except you, Alex.
yeah, because I'm the one that's being honest with ourselves. But actually, KI missing. That's
Yeah, KI is not a surprise, I think. Because KI didn't do very well last year.
Well, the only reason I was going to say KI not this year is because KI World Cup seems to have really taken on a life of its own.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that KI, the KI community, and Microsoft really see the game as needing Evo.
Yeah.
That's
Just
also, like,
a personal opinion.
That's also 2 really big trips in a year.
Yeah.
That a lot of them may not be willing to make.
On top of that, like almost all of us on our list, PS4, PS4, GameCube, Wii U, PS4.
Yeah, that's true. It's one less console too.
Mm-hmm. And that's a huge factor, whether people realize it or not.
So
I'm not feeling too confident about this year's pick, but at the same time, this might be the only year where things are this uncertain. Where
there's a lot of games that are really alive this year, and that's kind of a weird thing. I mean, I'll be honest with you, there's a chance we can see Injustice 2 and MKXL at Evo.
that is actually something that has been entertaining. Like, I thought that there wouldn't be too bad of a reason if they could double dip. Why not? You know.
Man, now I'm starting to rethink my Ultra Street Fighter 4 idea.
What?
So I mean, there's a chance that one of Curveballs tomorrow is 2 NRS games.
Yeah.
I really have no idea.
All right, we're locking it in.
Well, it'll be fun. Everyone done? Locking in? Can't change it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Just change my last one to KOF.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah.
I like your other one.
Man, I really wanted that Elena tournament. Like, like you want foot season fighting games, but what's more true foot season than Elena?
You know what needs to happen too?
Only kicking you.
You know what needs to be also a stipulation is that you have to respect Ultra 2. So like,
if you're healing, you can't smack them. Like,
yeah,
no, that's not allowed. No.
this is a gentleman's game.
Yeah.
Guys, what if one of the curveballs is no teabagging period in any of the games?
Well, this will be the first year I haven't gone to Evo in a
That
decade.
means I can't play Nelson because like I'm always like jacking that that down button.
No. The only people jacking anything is me, you, and Abe in Viking Squad. Okay, and I'm sorry, me and Abe, not you.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed to be with you guys. All right, we've gone 12 minutes overtime and nobody seems to care. That's awesome. Thanks for sticking with us, guys.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, it's going to be weird. I honestly don't think any of us are going to be right.
I know, right? I don't think we're going to be 100% right. I think we're going to have like 5.
I think somebody will probably come within one game.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that like the huge fucking twist. It's like, hey guys, we're all gonna play under fucking under Night ST for the first time.
Eunice, if Eunice showed up, I would definitely quit my job to go to.
What if tomorrow? During tomorrow's,
You're just looking for a reason.
if during like tomorrow's broadcast, like the broadcast just gets like interrupted by a Eunice trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
It's like,
my
check
God.
your Steam account. It's already been printed downloaded. Just pay for it.
Yeah. Right. All right, we're done here.
All right. Anybody got any final thoughts?
I did. Oh yeah. Don't steal people's footage. Give them credit. Don't be a fucking dickhead and just be like, oh hey, someone has this cool footage and we're gonna make a thing about it. Let's just use it and not credit someone. Let's just straight up steal it. Yeah. Fuck you people.
Man, what the hell? All right, I agree with you, but all right, I don't know where that came from.
I mean,
Okay.
We're called Game Goons for a reason. Come on.
That's true. Anybody else?
Chris, tomorrow announcement thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So just in case you weren't paying attention the first half of the show, tomorrow is the Evo game reveal. It'll be on at 6 p.m. on twitch.tv/Red Bull, I believe. Red Bull.
Yes.
Esports.
Red Bull Esports, 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9
Pacific
p.m.
time.
Eastern time, 8 p.m. Central time. If you live in the mountains, I don't care.
Yeah. Running alongside that will be a broadcast coming from twitch.tv/GameGoonsTV, which you should go over to right now, where we, in conjunction with the Game Goons crew, which is pretty much just Abe, will be covering the draft live with real reactions in color.
It's just twitch.tv/GameGoons on Twitch.
Yeah.
You said TV like several times.
Oh, it is? That's not TV? I thought it was Game Goons TV.
Nope, it's just
Oh, it's just Game Goons? All right, well, go to Quidditch.tv.
Oh shit, Quidditch?
fucking up the
First
ending
he
now.
fucks up the intro. Now he's fucking up the outro.
Twitch.tv/GameGoons. Follow it, and it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a lot of emotion going on. If KOF is in, I'm going to be very, very excited. If KOF is not in, I'm probably going to walk out of the broadcast with glass in my teeth.
Glass in his teeth. Well,
No,
okay.
I said if King of Fighters isn't in, I'm gonna be in Santa Monica, and I'm gonna be at that studio to elbow drop everyone in that goddamn building.
Just gonna bring it down on itself.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a boy. Mike Ross is just a boy.
It's okay.
All right.
Always need to learn.
That's true. Anybody else? Any last things? All right. Well, that sums it up for this week's episode of Super Desperation Radio. I'd like once again to thank our guest, Mr. Wizard, who came on earlier in the show. You can follow him at Mr. Wiz, one word?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So from everybody here, good night and good luck.
Bring